Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Dr. Mohammed Al-Isa. I'm the Saudi Cultural Attaché here in the United States. I think that the scholarship program is a bridge between the two governments, the Saudi government and the Saudi people and the American people. And I think it is important to have such King Abdullah Cultural Hall here in the United States to explain to the American people how important this program and how our students will benefit from this chance here in the United States to study and to exchange culture between the two governments.
The story of this project is an amazing one. When SACM first suggested this idea, and then the Ministry of Higher Education blessed the idea and fully supported it, we were very excited and we were worried at the same time. And the reason I say this is because even though I managed many projects much larger than this one, there are no standards for designing a cultural hall or a museum.
When we finally decided and got the approval to do the King Abdullah Cultural Hall, I guess the main challenge was who do we find as a company that is US based, that will understand the wealth of the objective and implement it in a knowingly way. It's very difficult to find somebody with that kind of background. Luckily, we had some experience with Dahlia as a person before Dahlia Design, and some of our events for our students, and some proposals she had submitted for other works.
Where do you want to talk about the Kiswat back in here?
Bit of this, but we somehow build a wall.
So we knew there was a talented young woman that had the background, that had been to Saudi Arabia, that had worked on design that was related to Saudi cultural.
So what we're doing today is working on our second layer of the faux finishing.
But we have to put them in context and their content in context. So it was normal that we reached out to her first for a proposal on this. And in all honesty, it didn't take much for us to just make a decision once we received the initial design proposal from Dahlia. It was amazing, and it was exactly what we were looking for.
My name is Dahlia, designer, president of Dahlia Design. I was contacted by SACM, and they told me this exciting project that they were so passionate about. It was the King's Cultural Hall, and I knew that I could really build from this because I am one that was born in the US and have Arab roots, and I know how I could give a design that would help both cultures understand each other. This was a global production. I'm talking about from London.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
We went to London to a custom designed chandelier to review the Shirosi crystals that were going to be used, because my influences were all the tassels that are behind a woman's abaya. So I really wanted chandeliers that were not traditional, something unique. Egypt, Florida,
you might tilt.
Chicago. We went around the world.
We're heading to Chicago. First thing in the morning, we're going to be going to Maya Ramadhan to see the production of King Abdullah's picture all being beaded, and I'm so excited because this is going to be a wonderful experience to see firsthand.
Spray coating on, and then we dry it over. And then we spray another coating on, and we dry it overnight.
Gotcha. It's been an incredible experience to see firsthand the creation and the making of the mural of King Abdullah.
SACM expressed to me that they wanted to do some kind of visual. I mean, we have all the state-of-the-art technology, the best in the design world. Why not have a motion picture? I told them I had the perfect person that could do this, who understands emotion and storytelling.
My name is Lucas Rafael, director and producer. When Dahlia first approached me and told me about this unbelievable and humbling opportunity to tell the King's story, I immediately wanted to be involved. No different than Dahlia's designs, it was imperative that the greatest quality was reflected in this film. The mission of this movie was two parts: educating and informing the audience on the King's generosity, humility, and devotion to the kingdom, all in a biographical theme, while framing the entire biography in more of a cinematic nature.
In an aim to achieve as much authenticity in both the material that we were going to present in the cultural hall and also the filming of the documentary about King Abdullah, we knew that the team had to go to Saudi Arabia. We initially knew that the project would not come without challenge, but there were some challenges that were surprising to us.
We're expecting the desert. Looking at this.
Wow, that's really how it
That is crazy.
We're so very lucky that it cleared up just before taking off.
Whether it's on escapade shopping in traditional souks,
I'm not settling.
or filming on the actual streets of Saudi Arabia, filming the people, the visions, the scenes, the sunset, the sunrise, the desert. The team did a phenomenal job. What came back and the footage that came back was nothing but real Saudi Arabia.
Prince Turki, who is a very dear friend of my family, really took me under his wing in Saudi Arabia, and I remember showing him swords and just wanted to make sure that I got the perfect one and make sure that he guided me that I would pick the best quality one.
Exhibit, do you think it's good enough or not good?
It's nice. بس استعملونا عندنا في العرضات.
So I'm very happy with the swords that we got, and I don't think we could have ever replicated that trip. That trip was so important to myself, to Lucas, and really was so inspirational.
So we have to move the car. We got the Rolls Royce in front of the set. After storyboarding and scripting the film, to keep everything as authentic as possible, we stayed away from the actors and stage settings and really kept this to heart in an authentic fashion, shooting in the streets of Saudi, to the classrooms, deserts, even real hospitals, real doctors, which was a little nerve-wracking based on the fact that we could have gotten kicked out of our set at any given moment if a real emergency took place. Now, we were shooting on about 6 different camera grades, which allowed us to composite heavy in post, running at a rate of up to 10,000 frames per second. You never know where you're going to get your inspiration from.
I'm Munsef. I am VP of Dali Design. This particular project, it was a little bit difficult in terms of time frame because we only had about 6 months to produce, but the process dealing with Dr. Asaf and Dr. Moody made the process go a lot easier than expected compared to other projects. For example, right here behind me we have a hologram. It's a largest permanent display of a hologram. It was designed specifically for SACM to reflect the program that King Abdullah has established for the citizens of Saudi Arabia.
I'm Jack Rasmussen. I was brought in to provide the content, the verbal content for the cultural hall, and that meant working with the objects and the images that were collected and assembled here in the cultural hall. And my job was to try to sort of bring the richness of the history and culture to the visitor.
Well, like I said earlier, the execution was very critical because you cannot get anybody to do that job because it's culture oriented, it's religious oriented, and we needed somebody who had enough feeling for these things, enough knowledge to handle it. And the company, which is Dahlia Group, did an amazing job.
Tomorrow is the premiere and we are ready. It's showtime.